I have been asked a lot of questions. And often a question is a paraphrase of something I've heard before. But Nathan in Washington State asks a question that I don't know that I've ever been asked. He says, what is the curse of communism? I am a communist and a card-carrying member of the Communist Party USA, or CPUSA for short, and I don't feel cursed. Well, Nathan, you are cursed whether or not you feel it. And in fact, most people don't feel the curse. They may see the effect of the curse. You know, before I answer your question, I have to wonder why in this great land of America, with all the opportunities we have, where it is so obvious that our system of government has given these opportunities for individuals found nowhere else on earth, would you want to turn to the philosophy, the failed philosophy of communism? I suspect, Nathan, it doesn't have anything to do with politics. That ultimately it's driven by something or several things which have happened in your life. When people turn to ungodly ideas, almost always the motive is emotional. It is spiritual. And it's often rooted in trauma. Just curious, Nathan, whether or not you've had a very happy life. Because happy people generally don't become communists. They're pretty dour. Most of them are awfully nasty, to put it bluntly. And they are not people who exude joy, and definitely not the joy of the Lord. But more to your question of the curse. So what is communism, which is synonymous with atheism? It's dialectic. It's just based purely on humanistic logic. It's materialistic. It doesn't take into account divine revelation or values and morals based upon a transcendent deity. And so, it's a state of unbelief. And unbelief is demonic. You know, in exorcism, I deal with spirits of Antichrist, which would apply in this case. And many times the most powerful spirit somebody has is a spirit like doubt or unbelief. You might think the most powerful demon would be murder or rage, and it could be, but sometimes Satan is much more subtle. The question of whether or not there is a God, or in the case of communism, the denial that there is a God, comes from demonic forces. Ironically, James tells us that the demons believe and tremble. Let's just take a look at history for a moment and see what communism hath wrought. Look at the countries that adopted the philosophy of Marx and Engels and the communist minds of the 20th century. Most of them are shipwrecks in history. Most of them are failed economies and failed countries that oppressed and in some cases murdered their own people and practiced systematic genocide. Is this really the kind of belief system that you want? I'll tell you what I think. I think you've embraced communism because you're angry at God. And this is a codified way, in a political sense, of expressing that anger and bitterness toward the Almighty. Are you cursed? Yes. You're not cursed because you're a communist. The fact that you've chosen communism as a moral, religious, and political philosophy of atheism shows that there is already a pre-existing curse which has driven you in that direction. But I want to assure you there is victory through Jesus Christ over the curse of communism, over all curses of unbelief that deny the existence of God and the reality of his love expressed through the sacrifice of his Son, Jesus Christ. The most frequent demon that I deal with is the spirit of Jezebel, the most prevalent evil spirit of our age. This demon wants to destroy your health, your finances, your marriage, your family, and your church. Learn the tactics of Jezebel throughout history and in the time in which we live. My book, Jezebel, Defeating Your Number One Spiritual Enemy, is your key to overcoming this demon, which is more prevalent than at any time in human history. Get your copy today. Jezebel, Defeating Your Number One Spiritual Enemy.
He took the curses away from me. Go see Bob Larson because he can help you.
If your life isn't all that it should be, if relationships aren't working, if your health, your finances, or your spiritual life are unhappy, schedule a personal one-on-one encounter with me. We'll get to the root of the issues that are holding you back. We'll give you answers and a whole new direction in life.
Oh, what a change, what a difference when you have an encounter with God.
Take action. I look forward to seeing you soon.
We encourage your support for this worldwide outreach to do what Jesus did. For the latest information on resources, seminars, conferences, training institutes, retreats, and international missions, go to boblarson.org. Thank you for your prayers and financial partnership.